I want to do a little mock draft. So what we're going to do is we're going to be doing a Mount Rushmore of Arizona sports figures in the year 2024. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this mock draft style where we're going to snake it. You're going to have 4 picks, and these are going to be it can be however you want to interpret the best or most important or most valuable Arizona sports figures in the year 2024. And again, you can interpret that however you want to interpret that. So how we're going to do this, we're going to do this snake. So we're going to start with Tillman. We're going to come down. So Dad's going to be 4. He's going to have the 4th pick, and then he's going to have the 5th. And we're just going to run back down.
Sounds good.
And again, this is your Mount Rushmore of Arizona sports figures in the year 2024. Tillman, who do you got?
First pick, I got Kenny Dillingham. He really has activated the Valley, I would say.
It's hard to argue.
No, it's hard to argue. That's definitely a very good pick. I have a feeling a lot of the picks on here are going to be Arizona State related because they've been one of the few bright spots this year. But Stockton, who do you have?
Since Tillman said Kenny Dillingham, I'm going to go with Graham Rossini. I think he has, first of all, he's the guy that replaced the Looney Tune who was there before and Ray Anderson, total moron. So low bar to begin with. But Graham Rossini, what he's done with boosters, with NIL, with helping Kenny Dillingham get the resources he needs, none of what Kenny Dillingham is doing in that regard would be happening without Graham Rossini. So I think Graham Rossini deserves it to be a first-round pick here. So I'm going Graham Rossini.
And for the people who don't know at home, who is Graham Rossini?
He is the AD of Arizona State Athletics.
There you go. There you go.
That's another one that's hard to argue.
That's another one that's really hard to argue. That's a behind-the-scenes I know ball selection.
That's right.
Well, since you guys went there, I'm going to take him because I'm shocked he's still here. I'm going to go with a guy who's probably saved many college students' lives on campus. I'm going to go with Cam Scatterby.
Man, that's the other obvious choice, right?
I want to talk about a guy who has not just become arguably the most beloved Sun Devil in the century. He's up there with arguably the best running back that Arizona State has had in his short 2 years here. So I don't think much more needs to be said about Cam Scatterby. But I'm gonna go Cam.
I'm just going to keep the trend going and say that this person that I'm about to say not only was super important for 2024, but will be critically important as we move into 2025 and 2026, because Kenny Dillingham has said himself that his career is tied to this individual, and that is Sam Levitt.
Yeah.
So I will take Sam Levitt with pick number 4. And we will have a clean sweep of 1 through 4 with Devils as we start this out. So now as we turn the page and we go to 5, I'm going to keep this going this way. And again, this is for 2024 and 2024 only for this specific pick. I'm going to stay Sun Devils, but I'm going to change sports. And I'm going to flip over to basketball.
Oh.
And I'm going to give it to Bobby Hurley.
Ooh.
And the reason I'm giving it to Bobby Hurley is not necessarily for the X's and O's on the floor.
Gosh.
I'm giving it to Bobby because he figured out how to operate within the NIL and the rules of today and went out himself to make sure that they got the funds needed through different, even very innovative things to be able to get the money that they needed to bring in some good transfers, but also some key young players that are helping them to start out the season pretty well. I mean,
9-2.
9-2 is not bad.
They've won all the games they're supposed to.
Right?
And
I mean, the only 2 losses are the 2 top 10 teams.
Yeah.
And is it going to be easy sledding through the Big 12?
No,
not at all. But he's put them in a position to where they can compete.
That's right.
And that's what I've been looking for from Bobby for the last few years. So if you had asked me in 2023, Bobby wouldn't have been on my top, my Mount Rushmore. but I think he has earned it with how he has changed up
For sure.
the things that he is doing in 2024. So that's my second pick.
That's a great pick. I'm going to break the chain. I'm going to step away from the Sun Devils. I'm going to go with another obvious pick here. Third in NL MVP race. Ketel Marte, ladies and gentlemen, had a
my other
career
pick.
year. And for the first time in almost 5 years, Ketel Marte has put together a complete 162-game season, not just with his amazing defense, not just with his slugging, not just with his home runs, but he helped elevate a Diamondback squad that offensively exceeded expectations greatly, leading the major leagues in runs. And on a year where there's a little bit of a letdown, a little bit of a sophomore slump, if you want to say, for being real contenders after last year's World Series run, but he picked up right where he left off in the World Series and had an amazing year. So my number 2 pick is Ketel Marte. And I had to sit up for that one because I needed people to know that Ketel Marte
It's a good pick.
is worthy of that.
Very good pick.
Ugh. Well, these two ding-dongs just took my picks. I think for me, I'm a huge basketball fan, so I'd be remiss if I didn't have a basketball player on here. But it's not going to be the Suns because I've been really disappointed in them. I'm going to go to the basketball floor for ASU too, but I'm going to go with one of the players. I love Jaden Quaintance. I think he's a freak. I think he's going to be one of the best players ASU's ever had. And he's already proving he's an elite defender. And I think his offense is only going to skyrocket. And we've got him hopefully for 2 years, not just one. So give me Jaden Quaintance. That's my next pick.
Good
There
pick.
you go.
Yeah, I'm also going to go the basketball road because I would also be bummed if I didn't have a basketball guy on my squad. I'm going to go with the other freshman, Josan Sanan.
That's a good one, too.
He has single-handedly kind of carried us through the times where we didn't have a shooter, and now we have a shooter who seems like he doesn't miss a shot.
Oh, he doesn't.
He has a beautiful shot. He has a beautiful release point. He tries hard and it flows in Bobby's offense, and so I like Josan Sanan. But I guess I have another pick.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
round 3.
Round 3.
Pick's not hard either.
I'm gonna go with a guy who's been a dog all season, but doesn't have much to show for it because we missed the playoffs. I'm gonna go with Trey McBride.
Yes, sir.
Trey McBride is a dog. Let's just get it straight.
Certified.
He's
certified dog.
He's the next tight end in the NFL.
I agree.
But if we can't find a way to get him the ball in the right spots, then we're wasting his talent.
Yeah, can we get a crib call for my guy Trey McBride? Can we get
No
Can we get him in
kidding.
some pay dirt?
Yeah,
Good grief.
please.
100 receptions,
Can
no
we find the end
touchdowns.
zone?
Can we get him a
grief.
quarterback too? Oh, sorry. Did I say that out loud?
Good grief.
Oh boy.
I'm glad you said Trey McBride. I was worried if he was going to slip off our list.
No.
That
He
was,
wasn't going to make it through round 3.
Okay, that's good.
No. I'm going to stick with the Cardinals, and I'm going to take one of the other two guys that belongs on this type of list.
James Conner.
I am going to take a guy who I absolutely love and I've loved for a long time. He is the heart and soul of everything the Cardinals do. Give me Buda Baker. Oh, and he got a new contract. Yeah, Buda. We love you, Buda. We're glad you're staying. You're going to lead our defense to great things. I think the Cardinals are going to invest in the defense this offseason, give you some more help. But a safety leading the league in tackles tells you two things. One, he flies to the football, and 2, your defensive line isn't very good, and your linebackers aren't very
And
good.
3, certified dog.
He's a dog. He is actually a dog. He went to Washington.
Husky, baby.
Buda Baker. You will always be on my Mount Rushmore. Buda Baker.
Love that. I think that's another solid pick. So for this pick, this is a sleeper. I'm going to go back to Arizona State.
Ooh.
But I'm going to go with the guy who walked away with the most Olympic medals this past summer in the pool.
I know where you're
I
going.
might butcher his name because it's French, but it is Leon
Sean.
Leon Marchand.
Wow, what a
17
pull.
medals in the 2024 Olympics. The closing ceremony flame carrier. Are you serious? He's an Arizona State Sun Devil. He's arguably the greatest swimming prospect that Arizona State has pumped out under Bob Bowman. He just beat a lot of Michael Phelps records in the pool. This Olympics, Leon Marchand is on my Mount Rushmore of 2024 Arizona sports athletes. I've been thinking about this question. Obviously, I came up with it. So,
All right, so for the last pick of the third round for me, this one's tough because I have been so disheartened with the Suns and just their style of play and the lack of intensity that they need, that I can't, as much as I would love to pick one of them, and Devin Booker is still one of my favorite Suns of all time, I can't pick any of the Suns right now. I can't do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay in the NFL for a second, and I'm going to give it to the GM of the Cardinals, Monty Austinford, because I think he came in to a very, very bare cupboard, and he is slowly but surely trying to gather some additional talent around some of the players that they had, and truthfully, he was given a very rough hand to deal with. I think he's made some really good, smart decisions in the draft, not only with who they've picked, but also making trades to acquire more picks. And so I've got to give it to Monty Austinford. I will tell you, though, we probably won't know till 2026 whether he deserved being on this Mount Rushmore in 20. We probably won't know till 2026, but I like what he's done so far.
Oh, the drunk?
Yeah.
my last pick.
Whoa,
will come after
Quit jumping the gun!
After Dad's picks.
And with the first pick in round 4, I have to go back to my beloved Arizona Diamondbacks. And this is going to sound really strange to most people who do not follow the Diamondbacks. But if you followed the Diamondbacks this last year and followed them closely, you will see somebody who took a major leap from where they were before the season started to where they were as the season was ending. And I'm going to give it to the big red-headed pitcher, Ryan Nelson. Because Ryan started the season out being like maybe even out of the top 5 or 6 pitchers. And I would argue that by the time the season ended, he was probably, if we would have made the playoffs, he was probably going to start one of the 3 playoff games. And that was a really, really big leap. And so even though it's not from a career perspective, again, we're talking 2024 only, where his expectations were to what he achieved, I got to give it to him.
Now for my last pick.
Okay, yeah.
As much as it pains me, I also do not have a Phoenix Suns player on this list. But there is somebody who represents the Phoenix Suns I'm going to add to this list. With his passing this year, I cannot help but not have the voice of the Phoenix Suns for over 50 years. Al McCoy.
Done.
May he rest in paradise with all the Shazam and Wham Bam Slam and all the other great calls he gave us.
Wow.
We miss Al tremendously. We know the
Sleep
Suns
with
miss
another
Al
good
McCoy.
pull.
That's
And,
a great pull.
And yeah, he was, while his death was sad, it's been one of the few highlights the Suns have had in 2024.
Yeah.
Because of what it did for the Suns community. You had former players like Charles Barkley and Kevin Johnson and Devin Booker speak about what Al meant to them and just the impact that he has had, not just in the Suns circles, but in the NBA circles for his entire career. He will be greatly missed.
Agree.
Well done. My last pick, there's a lot of places you could go. I already have someone in the front office type role, so I won't go there. I've already got someone who plays in a professional sport, so I won't go there either. I've also got someone who plays in a college sport, so I won't go there either. I'm going to go to the high school ranks because over this past year we've watched a lot of high school basketball with someone in this room playing.
Someone's on your Mount Rushmore.
So I'm going to go with someone who I've enjoyed watching play, watching grow. It's been a rough patch to start the year, but he's been really good throughout the entire season. So my fourth athlete is my brother sitting right next to me. Tillman Hewish.
Hey!
He's on my Mount Rushmore of favorite athletes or favorite Arizona sports figures. He's technically an Arizona sports figure.
This is true.
So I'm going with Tillman.
I mean,
Nice.
think about it. All region second team as a sophomore.
Yeah, he was all region team as a sophomore. He led his team that had 3 seniors. He was a big part of that team. So I give it to him, man. He as a sophomore, that's good stuff.
Bobby, if you're looking for a hard-nosed, hard worker.
Any coach, if you're looking
Any
for
coach,
someone.
You got a kid.
You got a good guy right there.
That's me.
So now, disclaimer, Tillman, you can't pick yourself.
Yeah.
Just
Sorry
so you
to
know.
pick. Sorry.
Like the last pick, who are you rounding out your Mount Rushmore?
I'm gonna do an interesting poll. I don't know if some of you guys know him, but he goes by the name of JJ Van Niel, the women's volleyball coach at ASU. He flipped the script for ASU volleyball. I can't remember the last time they were relevant at
I don't think they
Yeah,
ever
yeah.
were.
No, it's been a few years for sure.
And he had them in the top 10 this year, and they won, I can't remember how many straight games, but they won the Big 12,
Undefeated at home.
undefeated at home.
I think, did they make the quarterfinals in the last?
No.
They,
lost.
but he completely flipped the script at ASU volleyball, so
I
for
agree.
women's volleyball.
Yes.
That's a good pull. I actually had considered him with my 4th pick. Hey, I'll shout out the entire football staff.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much. This has been a blast. It's been fun getting to do one in person with me in town for the holidays. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this edition of Versus, a Scripture and Sports
What's
podcast
up, baby?
with your host, Slayton Hewish. Signing off for now. Again, thank you so much. Please please comment who your Mount Rushmore is of the 2024 season. Subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any sports or Scripture episodes. And we'll see you in the next chapter.